Nerd Rage Renegades.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 3 of the trilogy, the holy trilogy of C2E2 from the Nerd Rage Renegades. This is part 3. Are you sick of C2E2 yet?
How many parts did we do the last time we went?
Maybe 1 or 2?
Yeah,
or maybe we shoved everything into like 1?
Well, we used to do a lot longer shows way back. Until we figured out, hey man, this 3-hour shit's for the birds.
True. We did a we did a lot. I'll tell you that much. But this is part 3, and we're so excited to do. As I turn my light back on here, so Chief can see me a little bit. We are so.
Your picture's just still like the same. It's still just frozen. I just got this great portrait of you.
Well, we had some great interviews while we were there. You heard last week the comic book ones. Now these ones are of a different story. These ones are ones that were scheduled. These are with big time. I'm talking like executives and things like that.
Yeah, Adult Swim and Warner Brothers and shit like that.
Crackle. It was just so interesting. Now I want to preface this. What you're going to hear in these interviews is not just Chief and I. These were actually round table interviews. So what I've got the names down here. I'm going to do my best to put. What I'll do is I'm going to put their links to their sites in the description of the podcast. So make sure you go follow them. But we were there with a Miss Hannah from the fandom. James, Garrick, and we were there for them for the first day with, I'm getting all flustered just thinking about it. We were there for the Supermansion press room. Supermansion is from the creators of Robot Chicken, Matthew Senreich,
Yes.
Zeb Wells, and we had Breckin Meyer. Fucking Breckin Meyer at this table. And the way it worked was we went around the table. We all asked questions. It was kind of cool because Chief and I were both there, so we kind of got 2 questions in. But
play it smart, everybody. That's another tip. Bring 2 people if you got to do the round table.
Play it smart.
Twice the question.
Now I want to say all the other interviewers there from their respective outlets were fantastic. They were really nice to us. Really good people. It's just it was just kind of fun. And I looked at them afterwards. I said, instead of editing this interview where it's like 1 or 2 questions. I think it'd be cooler if we just kept, for our show at least, I don't know if they did it themselves, but I'm going to keep everybody's questions in there. Because
it's like a more complete experience. Yeah. Like they answered everybody's stuff, so why not have it all?
So, this is our interview with Supermansion's Zeb Wells, Matthew Senreich, and Breckin Meyer. And let me tell you, Breckin Meyer, he kept us rolling. It was funny. So let's go to that hot press room that we were in, because it was hot.
It was really hot in there.
So hot. Let's go and talk some Supermansion.
Yeah, come down off your mountain and enjoy
What do you guys drink down here? I don't understand. This isn't unicorn juice? That's what we have in Hollywood. Alright, let's try.
Oh, this is going to end terribly.
Yeah.
Get the first reaction.
Breckin on sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
It's just, you're not, It's an experience.
I think it's good.
Definitely like that
Greg,
great
I think they
experience.
sponsored the show, by the way.
Sorry.
Make you drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
At least it's audio.
Yeah, audio.
All right, nobody filmed that.
Wait, so is the soda called Mutant?
Yeah, Monster,
You know how,
Mutant.
you know how
Yeah.
Mountain Dew has a certain
But how do you
amount?
tell the
Yeah.
difference between the flavors if they're all new?
That's the thing. This one doesn't even have a flavor.
Pushing legal
grams
amounts.
of sugar.
Yeah.
Is that a lot?
Yeah.
But this can't be the final label, right? Like this
Mountain Dew
took
has
somebody
Yeah.
15 minutes in Photoshop.
Yeah.
We're spending all of their time talking about this mutant.
They were running those off on printers when we got here.
Yeah. Inkjet.
They had Lucy and Ethel down there trying to put all the labels on them on the conveyor belt, and then they get backed up. They start drinking them all.
So where should we start?
I can start.
Go that way.
So season 3 starts May 7th, right?
On his
That's
birthday.
right, yeah.
On his
Yes!
birthday. Oh.
Greg's birthday.
So what can we expect in this upcoming season as a whole, and for your characters, Jubot and Courtney, more specifically?
Well, the heroes and the villains start
I just
living
started
together.
sweating from this. Seriously, dude.
Have that
Sorry,
much.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
At the end of season 2, the villains have helped the heroes save the world, so they get declared heroes and move into the mansion with everyone. So that means that the Groner and Black Saturn are living in the same house, and they have a complicated history. They might be in love with each other. They don't.
They might
No,
be each other. We don't know.
In the future, it appears like they're married when they've gone to the future. But then Black Saturn is also best friends with Breckin's character, Courtney, and so there's a lot of jealousy on the Groner's side, and so Courtney has to watch his ass or he's going to get killed by the scary evil clown, who's not a juggalo.
It's complicated relationships.
Cool. Yeah, we can just.
Death, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't trust that at all.
Yeah.
For a lot of the readers, for our readers, all into superhero everything, right? So, any kind of superhero anything, they'll check it out. What makes Supermansion maybe unique or special to the superhero archetype kind of thing?
I think it's because we take inspiration from everywhere, from the whole thing. We grew up reading comic books, so we know all the superheroes, and so we love all the superheroes, and we use all of them to parody. So they might recognize something from a Jack Kirby DC comic, or they might recognize like the Punisher from 70s Marvel. It's a world that encompasses all superhero stuff.
Yeah, I think what makes it fun is we take those moments that you know from classic, superhero comic books, and it's the 30 seconds before or after those moments that you wonder what happened. Or it's if Superman and Lex Luthor have had thousands or millions of conversations, that conversation is going to not be the same every time. It's going to be about the personal, stuff that we don't see. They're talking about, what they had for lunch. It is that kind of stuff that they're going into. And again, I think with the sense of humor we all come from with Robot Chicken, it's just 90 degrees on its side. And I think the dialogue is what makes it very different than anything you've seen before.
With season 3, with the villains now being just misunderstood, and they're going to move into the mansion, is this going to be kind of like almost like a real world MTV scenario, and we're going to see them, busting in on each other in the bathroom or something like that? Is that how it kind of approaches a little bit? It's kind of like one of those reality live-in house stories.
Doing everything except having their lies taped. But yes.
Yeah. Yeah, basically it's people that probably don't get along with each other great, all having to live with each other. And yes, there are bathroom scenes and busting. And Robo Dino, there's not enough room, so he has to sleep in the bathtub. He's not super jazzed about that. But
it is.
The first episode does have a very real world vibe to it. Like everyone getting their new rooms and figuring out where people stay.
And then it's them having to try to figure out how to actually work together out in the field, which is what makes it fun. If they are all good guys now, how do you partner up with the bad guy you've hated for the last 10 years and all of a sudden be best friends with him, even though you probably still hate him?
Cool.
You got Mikey Day coming on from SNL as a guest star for Max Penalizer. I was wondering if can we expect any other guest stars along the season stopping in, and what was it like working with Mikey Day on the shows?
You know, Mikey, he wrote with us on Robot Chicken right before he got the job on writing on SNL.
Right.
So it was really, we knew how funny he was. It was really good to get him back. That man's a maniac. He wrote so much
on Robot.
Yeah, he's very fast. But who else do we have?
You know, I'm just not sure what, you know, they're looking at us with these evil eyes of like what we're allowed to talk about and what we're not. So,
without naming names.
Yeah, I know.
We have Taron Killam also comes on from SNL as well.
Yeah, it's a bunch of SNL people at the start of the season, I would say.
Yeah.
John Belushi.
Exactly. That's one of them.
Gilda Radner.
But no, we'll have later there's a few others later that they would kill me.
Oh, surprises.
But there's one in particular.
We can't tell.
It's a great answer.
I love asking questions.
I'm doing a great job.
This has the perfect balance of drinkability and energizing flavor. What the fuck is drinkability?
And intense.
It's
I
liquid.
think it means
It's liquid.
And you can keep it back.
Yeah.
You're able to drink it.
They're basically saying we know no one can drink an entire monster. You know?
Right.
You don't have to chew it. That's what
Exactly. But you can.
So my question is for Breckin. Clearly you're not interested in drinking that. So if I could take it and sell it on eBay, would that be fine?
Brother, good luck to you. I don't think you won't get a dime.
Do you have a Sharpie so you can sign
sure,
it?
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure to tag him so he can bid on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if you want it back.
No, that's yours.
But you guys said,
Godspeed.
you grew up reading comics. What are some of your favorite characters, and how were you able to kind of integrate those characters into your?
Both of us started in comic books, so it's wild to be doing this other stuff. I mean, my first job was at Marvel way back in the day, and then I worked at Wizard Magazine for who knows how many years. But I grew up.
You would. If anyone would know, you would.
I grew up with the Avengers, and I was reading the Avengers. And fell in love with that, and then it blossomed out to like Captain America and reading the individual comics for Thor and Iron Man, and so anytime we like the Avengers Mansion, which is the base of this show, as soon as Zeb was pitching it, I was like, yes, please. I love that. What about you?
I think Spider-Man was my first love, and then the Marvel characters. The DC characters were harder for me to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
They were always off in space or fighting gods.
You couldn't relation?
Yeah.
To that?
Marvel a lot more relatable.
Yeah.
On the onset.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then Breckin, you were playing football or?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I met this girl Sandy over the summer, and me and my other gang, the T-Birds, we.
Then you had to go on a bus trip to get a tape back
Exactly,
from an
I
ex-girlfriend.
had a magic cat. No, I was never a big comic guy. The only comics I read was X-Men and Wolverine, and the only thing I ever collected as a kid was Mad Magazine. So I was a diehard Mad Magazine fan. I think one of the first things whenever I started having an income was I bought Mad Magazine #1. That was like my big thing. But when we've done our DC specials or when Robot's doing a lot of comic stuff, I have to go and like have a crash course and read about it and figure out who's who.
Is that Walking Dead?
Walking Dead I knew backwards and forward, but not the comic, just the show. But the idea, like when we did the DC special, we'd go deep into the vaults of like what characters existed. I mean, there was, what's the one guy? There was like Cocaine Man. Literally like a cocaine character.
But then there's Breckin leafing through this book and then demanding that all the comic nerds in the room defend these characters.
Right.
And suddenly we're all on trial because Cocaine Man exists.
Because Cocaine Man exists.
These are the stories you guys like?
Yeah. This is what you guys were doing during junior high?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. You can't defend some of them. Some of them
No.
are defensible.
No, and also I'd need to learn the rules of some of these fucking people. The rules
You see
of
the
these people
disdain
here,
with
too.
which he
Yeah.
sits.
If you've seen Arm Fall Off, boy, then you know that some of them
Yeah,
are
Arm
Yeah.
Fall, yeah. That was one of
That's
them,
the
yeah.
thing. Like you'd leaf through all these DC vaults, and you're like, wow. That was, there's just, I mean, honestly, it felt like they were the SNL writers.